Hello, welcome back again. Game Master Preparation. This is a work day and it's all about world building or a universe at war, whichever one you want to deal with. Look, I don't really mind. What you see before you is Pathfinder, the Game Mastery Guide, first ed edition, the core rules for second ed edition Pathfinder, which has been remastered now, Ultra Modern 5, and we also have the Game Mastery book of Random Encounters. And all of this is wonderful, but honestly, you don't need any of it to build your own world. Like, you don't need any of that stuff to build your own world. It's nice to have it, but you don't need it. I'm putting up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. I'm going to do a presentation like I normally do. I'm going to do this fairly quickly. I'm going to whip through it. Then we're going to build a world in less than an hour and a half. For those of you who want to be part of that process, great. And if you don't, that's all right too. It doesn't matter. That's all cool. But I want to get people who are sort of part way through or haven't started building their own worlds. I want to get you to the point where you can do that. So let's get started. Let's get cracking into this. So make sure you have some food, some drink. Make sure you're comfortable. And let's go for a ride. And then let's get your feedback after that. All right, let's go. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about role-playing games. Today it's all about Game Master Preparation, Lesson 8, World Building. Or is it building worlds? Not just one world, but many worlds. A universe at war. This is where we're really going. This is where we've been heading all the time. Like the multiverse. No, really, that's completely up to you. But as I build more than one world, I don't usually just build one world, I build many. I thought I would share this process with you, and I thought this was a good topic to cover. Anyway, overview, the purpose for today. Sources of world building. Where can you get that from? Mapping your world, that process. Naming the world and the continents, world creation stories, how to create those sorts of things. Choosing your gods and goddesses or deities. Developing world locations and governments. Determining your world's magic or technology. Creating species and monster populations, and then some miscellaneous recommendations. I will say it right now, this is really just the initial step into world building. Objectives explain how to build or create a world for a role-playing game campaign and demonstrate that process. We're actually going to make a world today, and you are going to be part of that process, so you get a bit of practice if you need it. If you don't need it and you just want to be part of it, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, sources of world building. You could build a world from personal experience. I find this to be the most satisfactory and simplest method to simply use what you know personally from your experience to build your fantasy world, your science fiction world. You can also modify history, whether that's historic fantasy or science fiction worlds. I think that real history is a really good place to go, but also fantasy literature, science fiction worlds, pulling from other people who have already come up with something. Stealing popular pop culture like Middle-earth, the Oz world, Narnia, things like that, that all works very well. And you can go further afield if you really want to. I would say, even when you do all of this, even when you start sort of with yourself, it's always good to get player input. So as you're playing the game, you can use whatever the players are doing in the game and their backstories from their characters and incorporate it into your world. You don't have to incorporate everything, but take the things that you can use. Take the things that have actually made your life easier. That would be my advice to you. Okay, mapping your world. What's that look like? I find that it's probably fairly easy. You just draw the world for your role-playing game. It can be achieved a few different ways. You can simply grab a piece of paper, a blank page of paper, a pen or a pencil, and a few simple squiggly lines for the continents and some islands is more than enough to develop your world. You're done. You're ready to go. All you need, hopefully at some point, is you're going to label it as you go and you're going to put a name on it. But essentially, you've got your world ready to go. Now, software programs that allow you to customize your map and draw out details, that's something you can do later on. You don't have to do that straight away. Detailed location maps that are real. So you can actually use a real map that already exists, because not only have we got the world map of Earth, the continents and the layout of the planet Earth has changed over time. So you can use those if you wanted to, and they're based off real configurations or proposed real configurations. You can also use random generators to make your world map. There are lots of them out there that you can just go in there, plug in a few details, and it pumps out the world for you. You just need to give it a few parameters and plug that in. Okay, always remember when it comes to maps, start simple. It's just a line drawing to start with, and then you work from there. It's not as hard as it sounds. Okay, name the world. Naming a world can be quite difficult if you are really looking for the perfect name. So don't be too perfectionist about the whole process. What is the name of your world or the continents? I would say the world is what you want to name first rather than the continents, but if the adventure doesn't require you to know what the name of the world is, then start with a continent. Do the worlds or continents need a name? You may find that they don't actually know what the name of the continent or world is. It's just the world that they live on. You've been exposed to a lot of different things from history, pop culture, about the names of worlds and continents and how they've changed over time. You can probably put this together. Using that stuff is going to be pretty easy. You could also ask the players to name the world for you. I've done this before. Some players like it, some players don't. But you can also use multiple names to name your world. So the same world can have multiple names across different civilizations. So that means that every player could have a different name for it if they wanted to, if they all come from a different nation or different civilization. World name generators can also work pretty well. Like there's a lot of name generators out there for NPCs and characters, and the same applies to creating a world name if you need that. And even the continents. Okay. Creation story. The world creation story. I always go back to the world creation story because with all things around a culture and the world, you'll find that the world creation story is probably the most important story that you can tell. Okay, so this is the story we focus on. What is the world creation story? You can ask yourself that question. So no one has to actually really know what the creation story is, but there's lots of theories out there. This is why we have myth. This is why we have legends. And anyone can make something up, not just the game master. So that means the creation story could be created by your players or the game master, and they could all be true within the same world. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that just isn't possible. Yes, it can. It can. You can have multiple people thinking multiple different things. It's all right. You can have that. It exists here in the real world. You can do it in the fantasy world. There are a number of different types of creation stories. It boils down to these few. So I'm going to name them off, and you pick the one you like, and then you modify it for what you want to do. The world is created by a supreme being. This is obviously Christianity, but it's also a lot of other things, like, if you look at Buddhism and other things, it all sort of ties around that. There's a lot of cultures out there that go around that, see a supreme being as the creator of the world as we know it. You can also have the world emerging over a long period of time as a metamorphosis occurs. This is, I suppose, in some respects, you could call this a transformation, an evolution. Darwin's evolution would be an example of this. It emerges over time. But you can have other things as well, more fantastical. You can have two primeval super beings, such as a mother or a father, and they're giving birth to the world. Their joining creates the world as it is now. This is a common creation story, particularly in the Pacific Island. The world hatches from a cosmic egg laid by a deity, like a great huge chicken. You can have two companion gods, represented by good and evil, diving into a water source to pull forth the world as it exists now. Using a water source is quite a common thing. Again, particularly around the Pacific Island and those people living on smaller islands rather than on major continents. But very common to have the two companion gods. And then lastly, you can have the gods, there's a number of them, transformed a corpse of a dead giant or even a dead god into the world as it is. So the transformation process by a variety of very powerful beings. So those are your basic creation stories. So what you do is you pick the one that you like the most, and then you modify it for what you need, and you're done. Okay, and that means you can get everybody to do that, so you're going to wind up with a lot of really interesting stories to be told. Okay, now that we've done that bit, You're probably thinking, don't we have to deal with gods and goddesses? Yes, we do. So how do we deal with gods and goddesses? Who are the deities of your world? My suggestion to you is ask your players. Ask them what their character worships. They can create a god or a deity for your world, and you can incorporate it. If you would like to see something else happen, that's fine. But I'd always go back to the player's addition will do a lot of the work for you. No one really knows every single god there is, so you don't have to have all your gods and goddesses worked out. You don't have to have all your deities worked out. But you actually know tons of gods from history, from mythology, from folklore that you can select. You could just use those. I would suggest pantheons from other cultures, such as Norse culture, Egyptian, Greek, Celtic, Roman, Aztec, Hindu, Japanese, Chinese, Korean. It really doesn't matter. Pick the one that you think you can do something with, and you don't even have to keep it as it is. You could modify it and change it if you wanted to. I can also suggest a whole lot of fantasy pantheons that you could utilize, such as Mystara, Eberron, Dragonlance, Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, you know that one, Galarian, if you're doing the Pathfinder world. And also there's Midgard from, I believe, Kobold Press. You can reverse the names. So take the name, it was that, now reverse it. Now you have a different name for a different god, or the same god, but it's got a different name, and adjust the details slightly. You do not need to try to build everything from scratch. Name and all the information that's associated with them. All you need to do is work with what you've already got, okay? There's no such thing as creating something that's completely original. It's been done. Most of it's been done, people. Okay, world locations. How do we deal with world locations in your game? Well, I would start off with settlements. If you have settlements. If you don't have settlements, don't worry about that. It's villages and towns. Cities. Does your world actually have settlements and cities? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. But that's a good place to start. There's many places around the world that you have actually seen that you can poach, whether you've seen them physically or you've seen them on the internet or you've seen them in pictures or paintings that you can use and adjust for your group to play with. What is the starting location of your world? Where are you going to start your world? Now, why is that? This is where you're probably going to start with your player characters having their first adventure. So you need your starting location, your starting point. So deal with that. That's the most important aspect. Where did the player characters come from? Use that information. When they write their backstory or they come up with that information, use the village or town they came from or the city that they grew up in. What you can do, and this might sound strange, but what about using your own personal hometown, village or city that you live in or lived in when you were born or that you're currently living in and just modify it? If you live in Moscow, then use Moscow and modify the name. Keep the location in its basic layout the way it is. What about if you live in, say, Auckland, like in New Zealand, or New York in North America? Use that. I'm sure you'll find something that you can port over into your game that you know really well, and you know your hometown, your home city or village very well. So why not use it? The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Edition has a lot of location information. I highly recommend this book if you can get hold of it. The Dungeon Master Guide for Dungeons & Dragons 5e also offers a wealth of ideas for locations. It's scattered right throughout the whole thing. I wouldn't say they're their best books for world building, but they certainly have. If you have them on hand or nearby, then certainly use them if you can, because they do have some information. It's just scattered in some cases. Okay, locations, we've dealt with that. What about our world government or our nation governments or our kingdom governments? Government within a world. Who or what is the government or power in your world? That's your question you're trying to answer. Now, you deal with government every day of your life, so this should not be hard to figure out. There are different types of civilizations. Some you'll be very familiar with, some you won't be. I'm going to go over them. If you go and find any kind of Game Mastery book or Game Master Guide or Dungeon Master Guide, you'll find that they list off different types of civilizations. Usually they give you far too many, but when you boil it down, these are the ones that I would say you want to pick from. Okay, and then you modify and change it to suit you. The monarchy. You have a ruler or a single sovereign leader who is limited by law and serves the citizens. That's your kings and your queens. Now, you can have good queens and bad queens. You can have good kings and bad kings. It's really up to you, but that's the concept of the monarchy. Democracy, and I'm sure a lot of you know what democracy is. You basically you're ruled by a elected representative that the citizens actually vote for, and they vote on their policies and their actions. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. The oligarchy, which is a government formed by a few persons or people or a family, this is more tribal in its nature. It's certainly it's more around, to a large degree, can revolve around bloodlines, but it can also revolve around just a few individuals. You have the authoritarianism, okay? This is where you have a government or a leader who is opposed to individual freedom, whether that's thought or action, by a central leader, and this is your dictatorship. Okay. Theocracy, which is ruling by, I guess, clergy, priests, church, temples, agents of a deity or a god. Okay, so it's a very different structure again. And you will find lots of information in the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder 1st Edition on page 148 to 159. And the Dungeon Master Guide for 5e, you'll find page 18 and 19 has a lot of information. But as I said, none of that's really useful to you because you can boil it down to these few that I've just stated. Okay, right, we've done our world government, but we're not finished. Still got to keep going. World species. Now, whether you want to call it race or species, I really don't mind, okay? What are the species or races in your world? So player characters haven't encountered every single species or race yet. That's the whole point of having your adventure in the first place in this world, so you don't have to present every single thing. Pick a few that you know from fantasy fiction, or add the rest later, okay? Now, if you don't want to pick them from fantasy fiction, you can create your own. So modifying real-world animals to create a fantasy species or race can work very well. The same thing can apply to creating aliens for a science fiction world or universe. Select a handful of species or races from a role-playing game book. So whatever role-playing game system you're using, you could just go through and select, I would say 5. Just pick 5. That's all you need. You add the rest later. You don't need them all right now. Okay, so that is the process of working out what species or races are going to be available in your game to start off with. Next, we have world magic. That is, you have magic, maybe you don't. Does the world have magic and how does it work? This is the question we ask ourselves. Now, it's actually not a question we need to really ask too much detail on because this question is really quite obvious. Magic is the mysterious thing. It's amazing and it's magic. It's mystical. It's unknown. You don't need to know everything about magic. But what you do need to be able to answer in terms of your world building is, do you have a high magic world, or do you have a low magic world, or do you have a no magic world? The next question you probably need to answer, and that is, if you have magic, are there magic shops? Because that's the first question your players are going to ask you more than likely. Where can I go to buy something at a magic shop? So if you want them there, great, and if you don't, but answer that question for yourself. Is magic connected to technology? Okay, is the magic in the world connected in some way to technology, or is it separate? Can the dead be brought back to life? Can you use magic to bring them back, or is that not possible? Is transportation able to be achieved using magic to teleport from one location to another? It's a big question to ask. It's a yes or no question, really. Are there types of magic, and what are they? Are we dealing with elemental magic? Are we dealing with schools of magic like D&D? Are we dealing with something else completely different? Are we dealing with dragon magic? What are the restrictions to the magic in your world? Now, these seem like a lot of questions to ask, and that is true, but the only questions that are really important to you is, do you have magic, high or low, in your world, or none at all? And are there magic shops? And all the rest you can fill in later, because a lot of those other questions are questions you don't need to deal with straight away, okay? Just deal with the stuff you really need to deal with right now. Okay, next, world technology. Technology is important to any world, provided that you have a world that does have technology. So what technology does your world have? You actually know a lot about technology yourself, right? You know about different types of technology from your life experience, from the schooling that you've done, okay? And I'll give you a breakdown of basic steps in terms of technology, and you decide where your world sits within that framework. Fire creation, so energy. This is your first step. The creation of fire, starting a fire, energy produced by fire. That's your first step in your technology tree. Next one I would say is windmill power. That's mechanical movement by wind, okay, generates power through a mechanism, either to drive an engine or to do something else. Then we have steam-powered engines, where you heat up water, and the steam from that water actually powers an engine of some kind. Then we have burning fossil fuels as for a machine. This is the power of explosion from burning something like oil and petrol and things like that. You know about that sort of stuff. Then we have solar power, so capturing energy from the sun, storing it, capturing it, using it later on from the sun. Solar power. Then we have electrical energy generation, and this can be achieved a lot of different ways, and it's going to be stored, okay, for later use. So energy generation can be achieved by windmills, it can be achieved by steam-powered engines, it can be achieved by burning fossil fuels, okay, electrical energy can be generated from solar power, but also we're talking about chemical reactions. Even the process of rotting and decaying can cause electrical energy. Even the fluids in a potato or a vegetable or a plant can generate energy. Even the energy generated from a living creature can be captured and stored. Yes, that's very much the matrix. Okay, lots of different ways, but we're dealing with electricity, energy, and generation, and lots of different ways of dealing with that. What about storing radiation from atomic energy? Whether that's fission or fusion, it doesn't matter. Whether you're splitting the atom or pushing them together, radiation, atomic energy. And then lastly, biological technology, where you are actually modifying not an artificial thing, but a biological entity. There's a lot of different ways you can look at technology. So pick the one that's going to work for you. Maybe pick a couple. Maybe you use more than one. Monster populations in your game. Now, whether you're playing science fiction or fantasy, monsters are really important. What are the monsters or creatures in your world? Everyone will find out as they play the game, as they play through the campaign, as they play through your world, not just the players, but also the game master. You don't have to make it all up. Not all at once. Select some creatures from the monster book that you have, whether it's a monster manual or a monster book or a creature codex or whatever the heck it is for your game system. Just pick a few to start with. Maybe pick a few that your players are really fond of. Take inspiration from monster movies to populate your world. A lot of movies have really cool ideas that you can port over. Books on fiction, novels that can fuel your imagination in terms of the monster creation process. Stuff you can literally steal, okay? It's for your game. It's not for publication, so it doesn't matter. Borrow, steal, it's all good. Draw from real-world biology and anthropology to create monster concepts. Now, when I say real-world biology, there are a lot of things out there in the real world that are just phenomenally crazy, that you wouldn't think exist, but they do. And you can use them in your game. On top of that, if you look at anthropology, there is a wing of anthropology that is not considered mainstream, that has a lot of research, that tends to get pushed aside, that you can look into as well. And that can give you a lot of ideas. And I would say dinosaurs are a great starting point, but there's a lot more than that. So that is basically the process. Now, you may not have finished everything, but that's not the point. The point is to get started. The point is to get it done. And you usually have like miscellaneous recommendations when I do world building here on this channel. So these are my recommendations. Just make a world quickly. Get started. Get it done. You can get down the most important aspects of your world within an hour and a half. Maybe even faster. Don't worry about the plot of your campaign, because the plot of your campaign is not world building. That's a completely different thing. That's building adventures. That's building adventures to go on, stories, concepts. The world building is separate from that. This is not a novel or a movie. Okay, again, do not fall back to looking at plot when it comes to world building. Okay, plots and things like that, they unfold as the players play the game, and again, they're not part of world building. You can have a general story or threat that is existing within your world, but that is not necessarily the thing you need to focus on the most. So no one really knows the truth about your world or anything about it because of the passage of time, because of bias, prejudice, things like that, discrimination. So you don't need to know everything about the world straight away as a game master, and neither do the players. So you don't need to worry about that sort of thing. You just need the initial stuff, and you build the rest out as you go. One of the worst things you can do is sit there for 6 months or 12 months or a couple of years building a world and never actually put it into place. Just get it done. That's my advice to you. Anyway, I'm hoping this was useful to you, and if it was, great. Okay. I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon. I want to thank you for listening and watching. I do hope this was useful to you. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. I'm not gone. I'm still here. Right. For those of you who are here, you know the routine. We start off at the beginning. Now, I am aware that I tend to be quite slow in transferring people's ideas from the live chat into the document that I'm working on. So I might do a little bit of jumping back and forth. I'll still have my phone going, but I am aware that once we start this process, usually things move very, very quickly. So I am probably going to stay on my face rather than on the document I'm working on to start off with. We have 5 people here. We have got a few people who have answered the poll, which is great. Hopefully everybody has been able to do so. I'm going to go through the chat, but what we'll do is let's start off with, what is the name of our world? That's usually what we start with. Hashtag, what is the name of the world? Now, you'll see a universe at war. I was going to put in the title, a world at war. So let's think about a world that's at war. What would be the name of a world that is constantly plagued by war? Almost feels like we could call that Earth, but I won't. I won't do that. It's tempting, but I won't do that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this document, we're going to build it out, we're going to put in all the information we need as fast as we can. This is the document right here. I'm going to break it up and put some numbers behind things while you guys come up with some ideas. And we'll fill this out. Now, most of you probably know how I do this. We've done this a few times before in the past. We usually get this done fairly quickly. So let's put here World of War. I'll just do that for now. I'll mark that down, make this a little bit bigger. I see there are people in the chat. I'm not ignoring you people. I am just trying to be swift. Okay, world building template. This is just make it this exercise. Let's do that. And then I can do this. And bang it up a bit, make it a bit bigger. Is it large enough? Yes, it is. It should be. Bold, underline, and go down. I might just put it here. Yep, we'll just separate it a little bit. Okay. So, I'm hoping that you've all got some really cool ideas for some world's name. A name of a world, how that could look. Oh, here we go. I knew my phone was not going to be able to keep up. So let's just jump straight over because this isn't going to work otherwise. Oh, a bit of back behind the scenes. You don't need to see all that. Let me just drop this in, and I'm going to do a bit of cut and paste real fast. Right, so we got here Sot, Satirod from Pale Rider. Oh my gosh, it's Doritos backwards. I feel like I could have dealt with Doritos. Let's just call it Doritos. Hello, Fred Huber. How you doing? Fred Huber is a patron. Thank you for being here. I cannot even pronounce that. Is that Tasteletiner? Oh my God. You gotta be kidding. Fred. Cool, blimey. Talk about making it difficult. Hello, Troy, Osiris. How are you doing? Nice to have you. Azuron. It feels very similar to things I've heard before, but at least I can pronounce it. I know that's not saying very much. Fed battlefield into English. Finish. Is it fed? Battlefield into English to finish. Ah. Starlond. All right. Starlond, Troy. We've got Starlond here. Right, we've got a few names cracking out here. I suppose I need to add my own spin on this. Osiris says you've got here Crucible. Fair enough, we'll put Crucible. So we've got a few different names here. I think it sounds like we're ready to move on again. Oops, what did I do? I made a bit of a balls up there. Let's just try that again. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's deal with races. Since we've got a bunch of world names, we've got that sorted. Let's go here. What are the races? Okay, so now you can pick races that are already existing. You could pick races that already exist in fantasy worlds that you're very familiar with, or you could create one and just give me a description. Give the name of the race and describe basically what it is in a sentence. And I'll take that, I'll plop that in there. How's that sound? Okay, cool. I see we already... Corpse Land. That's another name of a world, eh? Okay, all right, Corpse Land. Sounds terrible, but we'll put it in, Fred. Corpse Land sounds like there's a problem going on there. Okay, races. Now, species and races, there is a difference between the concept of a species and a race. So let's just say species and races, make it simple for ourselves. And we'll lock in. Now, I would say 5 species or races is more than sufficient to start off with. You don't need to get crazy about this. We're not trying to create a book of different things that you could have in your world. We're just trying to get started. Okay, so let's just get started. Zombiloids, half undead. Sure, let's do that. Sounds very... These are all the individuals that fell in battle, right? And these constant warring. So we got half undead. So not full undead, zomboids. Nice. Got to have these are the remnants of people, right? Warhammer style, dark elves, humans, dwarves, elves, snake men. Oh, I'm going to grab snake men. Let's grab snake men. Whoa. I was trying to, but it didn't let me. All right, let's grab snake men. I like that idea. Let's grab this and put this in here. I'll show you this document at the end. I just want to move as quickly as I possibly can. I think snake men is pretty obvious what that is. We've got here humans, elves, dwarves, halflings, goblin, and reptile folk. All right, reptile folk. Snake men are... Well, I'll put both. We could decide whether we want to have one or the other. Humanoids that have reptilian... come on, Fred. Heritage. Is it something like that? I hope so. Okay, snake men. Okay. Humanoid. Humanoid snakes. Okay. We are doing very, very well. And I need to put in here human. And we're pretty much done, aren't we? So we've got elf. We'll put here dark elf. I feel like dark elf seems to be where we're going with this, right? Dark elf. Humans are always dark. We've got dwarf. We've got halfling. Somebody had mentioned something else, I'm sure too, and I probably missed it. Micro-gnomes. I like the idea of micro-gnomes. 2-inch tall gnomes. It is it's the land of the little people. Okay, here we go. Micro-gnomes. 2-inch tall. Okay. Micro-gnomes. 2-inch tall gnome humanoids. Okay, micro-gnomes are a thing. Okay, that's good. We're doing really well. Let's do some gods. I think we've got more than enough races. We can move on. Hashtag. Hashtag. Who are the gods and goddesses? I am hoping that I get this right. Basically, Smurfs. Yeah. Oh God, that's right. You're quite right. Fred Huber has put Smurfs into it. Who are the gods and goddesses? So name and what they are representing. I guess representing. We usually do it in that format, so let's put that in. Believer, he forgot Conan. All right, the hat's going off. I'm getting too hot. I'm cooking. I feel like I'm about to melt into pieces. Yeah, maybe snake men are able to shapeshift like in this conspiracy theories. Or maybe there's a theory that they can, but nobody really knows. Snake shapeshifters. All right, okay. It looks like we want the snake shapeshifting going on here. Let's put that in there. So snake, humanoid, snakes that can shapeshift. All right, that's good. We've got that down. Now, I've got that. Humans, elves, dwarves, done that, done this. I've got that in. We've got that. The lizard people are heckly dish would what? Lizard people. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to say Smurf. I don't know when I put Smurf in there if I can help it. It's too much on the nose. Blue micro-gnomes. Well, why do we have to be so color focused? Why do they have to be blue? Why can't they be red? Why can't they be red or pink or purple? A creator god who invited a lot of other gods to create the world as a great arena to invite personal growth. Oh, there are so many lines of thought going on there, Osiris. The underlying message behind there is, I know what you're trying to do there. Funny. We don't have a name for this creator god, but let's see where we go with this eventually. I don't know. All right, so let's get this done. God and God, yes. Blah, 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 blah. And we do our first line and drop this in. So what is this? This is take the formatting out, put a full stop, hit that button, make it bolded, make it underline, bold and underline, like so. We're doing well. We're getting a lot of stuff done fairly quickly too. The Death God, Pale Rider. I cannot call Pale Rider the Death God. God of Death. How about I'm just going to call him Ryder? Okay, I'll call him Ryder. Ryder. God of death. Right. Well, it's a world at war, so I think we're going to have a lot of death and dying stuff going on here. A deity of drunkenness who caused a war by knocking over a vat of. Are we jumping? We're jumping to the world creation story already. Is this what's going on here? This is what I feel like you've done. Is you've jumped straight over to the creation story. Oh, now I see what's going on here. You guys don't want to do gods and goddesses right now. You just want to do the world creation story. All right. Okay. All right. Let's deal with that. This is the problem when I do this world building, is that it takes on its own energy, and people just go in whatever direction they feel like going in, and it's very hard for me to control. All right, so we have one god, Ryder, the god of death. We don't have any more right now. Are we not? Are we only going to get one? There's no other ones there, and now we're just straight into creation story. All right, okay. I'm putting these down. Deity of drunkenness who causes a war by knocking over a vat of beer onto the deity of death. Dear. All right, so let's have a look out. What else have we got here? I think that we are all just making pop culture references and putting it into the group as a chat blender. Osiris, this is often what tends to happen in these, okay? And to be fair, when you're making your own world, that's really all you're doing. It's just a blend of pop culture and old, ancient culture, all being mixed up, and it comes out hopefully as something of your own. The combination is what makes the difference. Esper, the god of, is it music and storytelling? All right, I'll put this down. I'm sure Esper. Not that I think Esper actually watches my live streams, because he's got other things to do. He's busy guy. But Esper, the god of music, I think he would agree with that. I think he'd be pleased. Storytelling. Okay. Esper, done it. What else do we have here? I honestly don't know what you mean about the lines of thought. You don't know? I know. Okay. All right, it's all right. Maybe I'm picking something out of it that isn't there. Drunken deity. All right, the drunken deity. All right, I'll just grab this here. Man, it's all over the place. I'll just keep going. Just pull the ideas, Fred, and plonk them in. Inebrious. Oh God, of course, inebrious. Yeah. Now I get it. Now I get the joke. Inebrious. Very, very appropriate, inebrious. The drunken deity. Well, we've only got three gods or goddesses. The deity of micrognomes, micronautus. Okay, all right. All right, let's grab this. And have I missed anybody? I probably have, but we'll get there. The deity of micrognomes, micronautus, and then where's our god of war? We don't have a god of war yet. What have you done, people? Okay, I want to do gods and the way that they created the world. I see. We can do the world story we'll deal with. Pickett's the god of hidden knowledge and lore. Oh my God! I know what's going on today. Really? I should have guessed. I'm trying to get people to do world building and help them think that that I'm serious, and you guys are taking the piss. So this is this is what happens when you do a live stream about world building, and a lot of the people that are in your live streams know you very well, and their sense of humor is kind of like all right, who is a patron of Satsons of Wars. Maybe a goddess. Okay, but we don't have a name for this Osiris. You've given me an idea, but no name. Oh, Bontheria. Oh, I see. Okay, well, let's do that. We can do this. I am trying to keep up. And I need to drop in. You've given me a name, so we'll use that. Bontheria. Let's copy this. Bontheria. And paste. It's in. All right. Okay, I got that one. And our friend Fred Huber. So we've got enough gods. I think we can do it. You guys wanted to go with the story, so I think we can do that now. So let's go. Hashtag. What is the world's creation story? So based off what I was talking about in terms of what you can use, what is the world's creation story? Give me some world creation stories. We get 5, we stop, we move on. Oh my, okay. I know I should have pumped that in sooner. Female battle of, okay. Let's put this in. What do we got here? So Stabinova, the female deity of battle. Stabinova. Yeah. Goddess of battle. Okay. Yep. Goddess of battle. And what would be another thing, since it feels like we're dealing with the backstab thing? Treachery. I feel like she's treachery as well. So Stabinova. Treachery. There we go. Morgana, goddess of magic and witchcraft. Oh, all right. So Morgana, Pale Riders literally pulled this out of mythology. For those of you who aren't sure what that means King Arthur. There we go. And witchcraft. Okay, so we got that. Whew, we got a lot of gods. Doing very well, actually. Osiris, you've got here Grathora, the god of going to the gym, fire, and war. Okay, all right. Well, just go with it, Fred. Go with the flow. So we already have 2 creation stories, and we have more than enough deities now. We can move over to creation stories. That'll take you a bit longer, I imagine. Meta. When someone needs author knowledge, meta, deity of forbidden. Oh, I see, meta. Oh, Fred Huber. Okay, here we go. Let's chuck it in. Happy noises are happening in my house. The deity of forbidden knowledge. Okay. All right. So we are. How are we doing? I think we're doing all right. The Lamia god popped across the galaxy, creating thousands of worlds, including this one. The Llama god. Oh, not popped. It's pooped. Are you telling me that their pooping created the world? Oh, good Lord. All right. The Lamar god pooped across the galaxy, creating thousands of worlds, including this one. Your world is basically shit. Colossal being sneezed into creation. Okay, it's a sneeze. Sneezing is the going thing now. Okay, a colossal being sneezed into creation, the world. I've got it. It's in. It's done. Into sneezed into creation. Sneezed the world. The world into creation. Let's see if that's going to work. Hopefully it does. Yeah, that's That's fine. The creator god asked a bunch of gods to help him create the world, and this later caused a war. Probably, yeah. Particularly if the Greek gods are constantly getting into each other's here, aren't they? So these ones obviously based off those. I use Mystara and Meta in my campaign. They are all right. Okay, all right. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, that's right. The sneeze, the mighty sneeze. The world is a loogie. We have enough world creation stories. We have 5 creation stories, of which many of them are in jest. But that's fine because, as I said, oh, hang on. The world is an egg from an eternal serpent and its incubator for a titan. The titan will tear free one day, ending this. Oh, this is very much like... what is it? The Celestials in Marvel, isn't it? Kind of like that. Is that what's going on? I think that's what you're trying to do here. Okay. All right. So let's deal with next thing. We need locations. Let's get some locations going. Hashtag. What are the locations in the world? Let's get that going. Now, so name it and what is it? Okay, locations. Man, I'm going to work hard and it's very hot, so I'm cooking in here. Let's just go back and see if I missed anything. I like Lovecraft God or the Greek style gods. Well, whatever works for you. How about a Slaanesh kind of god and the snake people worship? Yep, so give it a name. That's fine. You just got to give it a name. We've got that one already. We've got Picket. AJ's going to be highly amused, I'm sure. I was thinking of a Smurf we came up from micronomes. All right, okay, I see. I think I like the word micronome better. Let's go with that. There are a lot of pop culture references, but I think we've got everything. I've caught up with everything. Amazing that actually happened. So while you guys are pumping out ideas, oh, Noroak is here. Hello, Noroak. Noroak is also a patron. Thank you for being here. And I believe we are on locations. Can be a settlement. We need a starting location. So maybe a town or a village or a city. But other than that, go bananas. The snake god is... All right, okay, we'll do that. Snake god. Back to gods. Man. Paste. Paste it. The god of snakes. Okay. Oh, well, we've got plenty of them now. Okay, here we go. What type of crazy chaotic world? So what we're doing is like, think of a universe at war or a world at war. So really it's about war and a world that we're going to create around that. Logging town. It's a logging town. Really? Log town. It's a logging town. Ah, ha, 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 ha. You're funny. You're funny. Anyway, just be careful. I might press the wrong button. Here we go. I'll grab this. I'll take it. I'll take it. I got to take it because I asked for something, didn't I? And that's what I get. And location, settlements, and cities. Let's just do this. Drop this down. Come on, Fred, get this going. And we will go. This is our first contribution. A little bit on the strange side. Log town. Okay, it's a logging town. Okay, town. Right. Deals in timber. Okay, I've got your first one. All right, What else have you got us, people? The Flaming Valley, a rift of volcanic activity. All right, so I think we've got a town now, and now we're going into volcanic activity. Lovely. Got it, Fred. Putting it in. Make that happen. Flaming Valley. Really tells you everything, doesn't it? It basically says, go away. Okay. A rift of volcanic activity. So, it's the Flaming Valley. You don't want to go here. You're going to die. Okay. Maybe a city where a large section of it sunk into the Underdark when the volcano near it erupted. Okay, so Osiris, give us a name it, and some information around it. It's a sunken city, basically. A sunken city near a volcano. Sunken city near a volcano. Okay, you're going to let me know what that's going to be called, hopefully. Next, the Forbidden Plateau, a legendary home of Meta. Oh God, here we go. Meta being a god. Meta is a god, by the way, people, if you're wondering what the heck is going on here. Forbidden Plateau. And that is the legendary home of the god Meta. I believe that is correct. Is it not? Meta is a deity. Oh, it's a deity of the deity Meta. Deity Meta. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. We need a couple more and we're done. Hubberville, a town of crazy and inventive creations and unique weaponry. Sure, let's do that. So now we're taking the piss out of people in chat as well, by the looks. So Huberville is definitely a based on Fred Huber, who's in chat. A town of crazy and inventive creations and unique weaponry. Right, weapons. Yep, I've got it. It's done. All right, so let's get you onto the next thing, because if I leave you for too long, you guys are going to keep going for a long time. I feel like that's going to be too much otherwise. So let's add in, what are the monsters? Hashtag, what are the monsters in the world? So this is name it, and what is it? What is it? Okay, all right. Oh, Meta is a goddess. Okay, all right. I'll do that. The home of the goddess Meta. All right, where are we? Deities jumping around here. The goddess. Forbidden knowledge. Okay. Right, I'm still dealing with locations, aren't I? So Narshak, a city of dark elves. Why not, Osiris? Your contribution has been added to the list. My gosh. So for those of you who are wondering how this works, the live stream drives the creation of the world. No matter how silly it gets. No, that's not true. I do have my limits. Atlantia, a highly developed capital city. That's fine. We can put that in. Pale Rider, got it. So we've basically taken Atlantis. The story and mythology and legend of Atlantis is now included in this. Highly developed capital city. All right, I am getting there. What else? Here we go. Waiting for the monsters. Lava, elementals, of course. Okay, Vistalia, this is the name. It is still around, but now it is home to treasure hunters and mercenaries, but every so often monsters come out and attack the current city. Oh, I see. So let's just, I'm going to probably have to shorten it a little bit. Okay. So we'll shorten it to a home for treasure hunters. Vistalia is a home for treasure hunters and mercenaries. Mercenaries attacked by monsters. A city. I think it's basically not a home, a city. For treasure. Yeah, we've shortened that all up and then just clean it up so it's a bit shorter and a bit easier to deal with. Okay, good, got it. How are we doing with our monster creation, people? All right, I'm still going Clanksville. We got Clanksville? All right. Of course we do. We've got Clanksville. All right, Fred, what do we got here? Put this in. Clanksville. City of mechanization, steampunk technology. Fair enough. All good with that. Done. Plenty of locations. We have got many, many. You guys know the egg was from Greek mythology. Yes, I'm very much aware about the egg stuff. Prepare, cook, and survive. Hello, prepare, cook, and survive. I haven't even had a chance to say hi to everybody. I'm just working hard. Okay, let's have a look. We've got some monsters coming through now. I hope. I'm going to drink some water. What do we got here? Rider manufacturers, a weaponized vehicle manufacturer that perhaps located in a region known as the Pale. I'm not going to say that bit, but I'll get the other bit. That's fine. Rider manufacturers. It's a good thing that you guys know each other so well and you get the jokes. A weaponized vehicle manufacturer. Okay. Now, let's do the monsters. And we'll drop this down. We're actually doing very well. Monsters and creatures. And I have to put in another space here. Drop in a number. Put a bold. Underline. And okay, all right. Hit me with your best shot, people. Let's have a look and see what you've got here. We've got lava elementals. Here there be dragons. You want dragons. Okay, that's fine. No problems. Fred, you can have dragons. I don't mind. You know me. Everything is made better by having a dragon in it. Well, at least more deadly dragons. What else? You haven't specified what sort of dragons, so that we'll just say it's dragons. Dariel, demons who come from the outside of the world from some other more chaotic gods. I think, chaos demons. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Osiris. Okay, let's see. Demons coming from the outside of the world. I think we've got it. Let's do this. We'll put this in. Oh, I'm gonna have to do some stuff around Warhammer at some point by the looks. The cooker likes to prepare humanoid creatures and serve them as dinner. Really? How did we get to that one? We're just going to call it the cooker. Okay, so that's no, it's not going to work. A humanoid creature that serves other animals as dinner. This feels very much like a human. How did we get the cooker in there? I know. We must have unicorns. Fine, you can have a unicorn, I don't mind. It could be, but we won't worry about that. We're just going to put it down as an idea. Like this is like your brainstorm, and then you throw stuff out there, and if it sticks, great. If it doesn't stick, it's all good. You just move on. Sentinel reindeer. We're going to have sentinel reindeer. These are the monsters we've got to contend with. Are they going to be butchering sentient reindeer? Sentinel reindeer. What did I go? Sentinels. Sentient reindeer are now what we're going to butcher in our game. Is that what we're doing? Double-sided Hydra serpent. Oh, sure. All right, cook rape this. So this is the Ceriso, double-headed Hydra. Okay, so we've got some sort of Hydra creature. Oh, and I have more than enough, so we can move on to our next task. All right, let's do that. Hashtag. How does magic work in the world? There's my question. How does magic work? Not, that's not really the word work. How does magic work in the world? There's the question. Let's deal with magic now, people. We've got plenty of creatures now. I'll plop in as much as I possibly can. Maybe there could be only a set number of dragons that could be true dragons, but the normal dragons can be creations. Like, okay. Blood-born monsters like the Greek gods. Yep, could be. Black blood goblins. Okay. Their bite stings with acidic saliva. You've gone into a lot of detail here, Pale Rider. Goblin tribe that is purely evil after living in a petrified black dragon's corpse. Their bite stings with acidic saliva. Right. Okay. It's rather a lot going on there. All right. I think we've got it, though. And we'll do magic. So to give you an idea, we really only got maybe a couple more topics and then we're sorted. Magic, technology, government. And you thought it was going to be hard. We've been doing this for what? Just over half an hour? I mean, obviously it's working a bit faster because there's a lot of ideas coming from a lot of different people, not just me. And most of my ideas aren't going in here because I'm just writing stuff down. Harpies, sirens, flying serpents. Okay, there's a lot of serpenty stuff. You like the black blood goblins? Good, because I stuck it down. All right, so let's put this one in here. Paste. Harpies, sirens, flying serpents. I noticed we don't seem to have a lot of terrible, deadly beasts in here. Is that quite deliberate? I mean, let's get real. A double-sided hybrid serpent sounds pretty bad. And lava elementals sound bad, and so do dragons. And the demons sound, the Diriel sound bad as well. Even the cookers sound bad, but I suppose that's not true, actually. I would say, yeah. Hell Knights, fallen warriors who are now sworn servants of a cruel or evil deity. They are impossible good at fighting. We're not going to say that. We want them to find out the hard way. But we'll put the rest of it in. It's all about the surprise. Okay, let's put this down. Hell Knights, fallen warriors. So this is a problem with, in a world where there's constantly people dying and falling, you've got to get your troops from somewhere. So dead troops is going to be important, right? fallen warriors who are now the sworn servants of evil or cruel deities. Yes. Yes, we'll do that. So I'm pretty happy with that. We're doing quite nicely. I need more water, but let's go and deal with the magic, because I believe we're in the magic section now. Oh my god. You guys have already done it. There is so much stuff here on magic. I am being bombarded. All right. Okay, filling up. Okay, all right. I think we've done magic already. I haven't had a chance to even write any of this down, but I think you've basically got what we need. We only need a little bit. 5 points is more than enough. So I guess we're moving on to technology while I try to write everything else down. So let's do that. Okay, so hashtag. What sort of technology is in the world? Okay, let's do that, and I will cut and paste. Sorcerers of meta, they are Zench type sorcerers. That's not going to tell us very much, unfortunately. Sorcerers of meta. In what way are they part of Zench? That's the question. Like, yeah, need a little bit more. Magic is tapped via wands made of unicorn horns. All right, okay. All right, Fred Hubert, we'll do that. I'm all good for that. Let's do this. Now we can have magic work a lot of different ways in a world. You do not have to have just one way. There might be more than one way to actually tap into magic. And actually, I'm going to put in one that I think is, this is very dark, Sunny. Magic is drained from the living force of plants and animals. It's very dark, Sunny, that one. Okay. Winds of magic, like in Warhammer. I don't know what that means. It's been a long time since I had anything to do with Warhammer, so I won't know what that means either. You would have to explain it. You've got to explain things in simple terms. If there's a lot of other stuff somebody needs to know, it's not going to be very helpful. Right, so I'm waiting for your technology stuff, and I'm pumping in your magic stuff here. Only those born with magic potential can learn to use it. Fine, I'm all right with that. You want to do that way? You want to be that way, Noroak? It's an upper class thing. It's an upper class thing. All right, fine. Maybe some magic comes from outside the world, but can summon things. Okay. I'm not sure how to structure that. Magic works by harnessing solar energy. Okay, fine. And forming that immense power at your will. So basically, magic is coming from solar power, which, why not? How do I structure Osiris's one? Magic comes from outside the world. Let's do this. Paste. Let's go here. Some magic comes from outside of the world. Like the land of the dead. I guess I'll put that in. I don't know. Land of the dead. Okay, right. Next, magic works by harvesting solar energy and forming an immense power at will. We've done that one. From a world from the stars. Well, why not? Actually, yeah. The magic is the energy coming in from the world from the stars, holes and realms. Okay, let's do this. Star magic. It's really basically star magic, isn't it? It's a good idea. So here we go. Magic energy. Magic energy comes from the stars. That's fine. We'll put that in. Got it. Cool. Magic would be difficult to cast in the dark. Okay, so you can't do it if you're in the dark. I see what you did. Okay. Understand. So we've got a lot of sun and starlight going on here. Magic is difficult. Magic is difficult. Okay, so let's say solar. Sun or solar magic is difficult to cast in the dark. Okay, I think that's what we need to specify, because I think that's what you're referring to, right? And then there's a different type of magic which we're dealing with here. Renaissance, at least. Sheesh. Here we go. So the pool of wizardry magic grows as the population decreases and shrink with the population. Oh, okay. That's pretty nasty. Pale Rider. We're we're basing it off the number of people alive. The pool of wizardry magic grows as a population decreases and shrinks. And shrinks with population growth. That is a scary thought. Because unicorn horn is the way to tap the magic weave, they are an endangered species with high fines and punishments for hunting them. Okay, I like that. That's an interesting twist. Let's put that in. Okay, I've got way too much stuff on magic. I'm going to tell you that now. There's so much detail here. Reverse pull. The population is good. You like that? Okay. All right, now we're on to technology. I feel like, do we actually have technology going on here? I feel like we do have some technology stuff going on here. It's a little bit hard to tell exactly what it is, but we'll go through it and see what we find. Drop over what we can. Okay, here we go. So, Renaissance era at least. Well, I can put down Renaissance era, but I don't know what else that's supposed to really mean. It doesn't mean very much. It's just Renaissance era. Ultimately, what are we trying to say there? Renaissance era? What is happening? We're making, yeah, Derp. Hello, Derp. Derp is a patron. Thank you for being here. Yes, we're making a world at war. You could say universe at war, but we're really looking at stuff that sort of, what happens if a world was constantly at war, and we're building around that. Steampunk, largely steam-powered machines powered by captive lava elementals. Oh, I like this. This is a good idea. Thank you, Fred Huber. We'll drop that in. Put that in. Got it. That was easy. Steampunk. Steam-powered machines powered by captive elementals. Okay. Well, that's the lava elemental. Okay, so next we got here. The Sorcerer of Meta cast great rituals and changing the tides of fate, and can change the way events will happen and trip the balance of magic. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. I'm going to have to just copy this into magic section. The magic section's got really big, people. Man. Okay. So what we want to do here, I think, is we definitely want to have technology around war. Not hard to do. Not at all, I'm sure. Unicorn poachers enter the world with new technology machines and vehicles. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is around technology. There's a bit of poaching going on here. What else have you got here? This is We are advanced psionic mechanics. The machinery is powered by one's will and psychic energy. The stronger the will, the stronger the machine. Okay, all right, let's grab this. I don't know what to say, people. There's a lot of ideas here. The will. Okay, that's fine. What else have we got on our list? Technology goes from medieval, as in the lands of the warlords, to very high tech, as in the frozen land where the aliens observe this world of war. Okay, all right. So I see what we're trying to do here. You want a really widespread. That's what you're trying to achieve here, right, Pale Rider? So there's going to be a lot of problems, I would imagine. Hence the world at war. All right. We are medieval ones. Okay, cool. All right, I've got that down. What else have you got here? Okay, I think at this point we're pretty much done with that. Let's deal with government, because government, or who's in power, is our our last really big question. Hashtag. Who is the government? Government, come on. Government, or who is in power? Okay, let's see what you guys come up with. I'm sure you'll come up with lots of interesting things. The winds of magic would be that magic is blowing constantly everywhere from a particular chaotic point in the world. Okay, all right. So this is around magic. Okay, let's drop this into the magic section. Okay. All right, what else have we got here? There's a lot of stuff on magic. Maybe some places are more magic focused, but others are more technologically focused. Yeah, well, that's often going to be the case. It's not like Star Wars where the whole planet is a desert, or you go to another planet and it's all forest. Like there's going to be something that we're going to mix it up a little bit, eh? A drunken wizard can pull extra power via calling on inebrious who a random effect. Okay, so this is not technology. This is magic that you're talking about here, Fred Huber. Okay, man, we've really gone bananas with the magic stuff today. There's a lot of stuff. Magic comes from the Titan's life force within the planet. Using magic keeps it from fully maturing and destroying the world. Okay, this is more magic. I thought we were past the magic section. No, we're not. Apparently not. We've still got some ideas we want to share. Okay, it's in. It's done. Cool, blimey. It seems we just went back to magic. It does, Osiris. I've noticed this myself. Clearly, technology is not the prime interest right now. I get it. It would be very interesting in that case. Even a lich would be possible. Okay, that's just feedback. Okay, magic fuels technology. Yeah. I guess what magic and how. These are the questions you answer. It's like, how does magic fuel technology? What magic is fueling what technology? So you kind of have to spell out some specifics. Otherwise, it's a little bit tricky to figure out what else to do with it. If you get too general, it's a bit hard. High-powered crystals that allow for hydrogen power. Calrel, hello, how are you? Okay, all right, let's put this. So that's actually this is a technology, so that it's going in the technology section, which is fine. Good. Nice. Idea. The world is flat. The oceans are filled by portals to the realms of infinite water. The oceans constantly spill out off the edge of the planet, but people build dams to harness the water power. Good Lord. Okay, so that's technology for sure. Discworld, I think it is. I think it is. The world is flat. I think he's just quoted Discworld, yes. Next. Techno War Masters, they make war machines powered by magic. Okay, fireball spitting fireball spitting takes that can fly. I don't understand what that means. I have no idea. What are we talking about here, Pale Rider? I think I can take the first part of the sentence and it will make sense. The rest of it, I am lost completely. I have no idea what we're saying here. The Techno War Masters make war machines powered by magic. Okay, all right. So there's some connection going on there, I guess. Maybe this dictatorship is gunpowder era, but they have a virtually infinite number of soldiers. How do I structure this? This is a little bit harder to figure out. Praise the pointy hat. Do we have a pointy hat? Hi Hat Logans. Fire-spitting tanks that can fly. Oh, fire-spitting tanks that can fly. Now I understand. Oh, you lost me for a second there. I was like, what are we talking about? Okay, so Osiris, you got something for government, so we'll drop that in. Wow. A dictatorship controlled with gunpowder that has a virtually infinite number of soldiers. Okay. All right, so I think I've got that down. Techno Magros, okay, a group of mages that monopolizes advanced technology and lords over others as demigods. Okay. Norok, I've got it. So, okay, so there's a lot here. So techno magocracy, a group of mages that monopolizes advanced technology and lords over others as demigods. Demigods. So this is okay, that's better. Okay, got it. Ramelette is in control and all must wear pointy hats. Oh God, now I understand where this reference comes from. Okay. Fine. It's there. Okay. Maybe the techno magocracy is trying to kill the gods and become them. Possibly. Okay. Big Hat Logan, the enlarged pull of magic to ascend to godhood. I don't. What are we talking about? Are we talking about government? Or are we talking about something else? The enlarged pull of magic to ascend to godhood. Fire-spitting tanks that can fly, I can put under technology. This other one, I think this is magic, not government. Okay, so let's grab this. Jeez. All right, I'm all over the place, people. This is why I could not possibly keep up with this process. I'm going to have to share what I've typed out or copied and pasted. Fire-spitting tanks that fly. Let's put that into technology. That sounds like a bad thing. Not like a good thing. It's a bad thing. Fire spitting tanks that fly. Okay, what else we got here? The clan concave, a republic of tribal clans with medieval technology. Okay, so this is the government that we're dealing with here. All right. I'm putting it in. Once we get 5 government types or ideas, I'm ready to call it quits. Republic. Get the republic in there. Get it in there. Get it. Chucky runs an academy of unarmed combat and is rumored that Chucky is an immortal and undefeatable. Oh God, we're talking about a doll, aren't we? It basically runs an academy of unarmed combat. That Chucky is an undefeatable. Immortal and undefeatable. Okay, all right. So, the Atlantean Empire is a theoretic. Okay, yes, we can do this. I understand what's going on there, Osiris, so we'll take it. We'll put it in. It's government. And that means we've hit our requirement. We needed to have at least 5. We have more than 5, which means it's put a stop, slow down, stop. Hashtag stop. Yeah, all right. Okay, stop. Okay, we don't need any more. Let me just write the rest of this down. Chucky was once the Bruce's punching bag and mysterious disappeared. Oh God, I'm not writing that. Clone engine artifact that makes their troops. Okay. I can put this under technology. I can do this. Yes, you would have to have a steady stream of soldiers as you'd run out. So you'd have to have a way of making them. Cloning machines, probably going to be pretty important. Clone engine artifacts that make troops. All right, so we've got that down. I think we're there. Maybe a civilization of elves who have their own gods and they are from another world as invaders to spread their... Okay, all right. Did I? I missed something. I don't know what I missed. I have no idea. I just put in the kibosh on it because we've got to. Otherwise, you guys will keep going. I know what happens. All right. So now I have to actually share this document with you, so you can actually see what's here, what you've put in. There are some spaces in it deliberately because I know somebody's going to throw another idea out there, and I'm going to have to try and type it down. So bear with me. I'll just quickly tidy this up, move things around. Almost done. And we will shift over and you can see. So how long did that take us? That took us just over an hour to get our basic information down. Like it's not everything, but it's good enough to get started, honestly. Okay, let's do this. This is it. World of War. So world building exercise. So we've got some names. We've got some various names here that we can include. That's fine. We've got our races and species. We've got zomboids. So we've got the... I'm not even going to pronounce a lot of these names. I think the Crucible, I almost feel like the Crucible is one I like the most. Corpse Land is also very entertaining, but the Crucible certainly is pretty good. Zomboids, half undead. You can play these little suckers, I guess. Snake men, humanoid snakes that can shapeshift. We have the reptile folk. Again, reptilian heritage, humanoids, humans, dark elves, dwarves, halflings, micro-gnomes. If we're going to have micro-gnomes, we have to have gnomes, don't we? Just normal gnomes. Otherwise, there can't be no micro-gnomes, can they? So, gnomes, micro-gnomes. Gods and goddesses, we've got a bunch of them. There's about 11 of them. World creation stories, we've got them listed. We could use all of them or none of them or one of them. We've got locations. We've got a starting location. We don't have a name for the sunken city near a volcano. Or maybe I'll figure that out later. Rider seems to be in here a lot. Nice one, Pale Rider. And monsters and creatures, we've got a bunch of them. And then if we go down here, we've got our magic and how that works. Some of this will need to be sort of adjusted because it's not needs to be a bit more form to it, I guess, so it's a bit easier to understand. Our technology section and our government section. And so how many pages is that? I've written and copied and pasted 4 pages of your ideas in just over an hour. There's your world. There's your starting point. You've probably got more than enough to get going, and you just build on that as you go. Prepare, cook, and survive. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. I will definitely catch up with you when we're doing more book character creation in a couple of days. Cyrus, yes, what do you got here? I would have loved to go for 5 hours. I couldn't cope with 5 hours of this. It's hard when it's 2 hours. Trust me, that that's non-stop. It goes a lot. Anvil. People are constantly being tempered in the world of war. Okay, no, I actually, Anvil's not a bad name to give a world name. As a world name, Anvil's not bad at all. I pasted my fat man, what? I pasted my fat man, the enslaves reindeer and micrognomes to a Google Doc, so I'll build on it. Okay, all right, you do that. All right, I will add Anvil to the things that we have here. And Anvil will be another potential name. So we have a lot of information. Look, if this live stream can do it, you guys can do it. Like, if you are really worried about building a world and getting it right, stop worrying about getting it right and just do it. Okay, better to do it than to not do it. You know, you wait too long. What happens if you get COVID and you pass away? You never get a chance to do it. You should just go for it. No, I'm not putting down World Anvil. Not putting World Anvil. Anvil, fine. But yeah, the domain. Domain, I could just go with domain. Yeah, we could do that for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, sweet. Okay, so that's it for today. World building. We'll be back in about 2.5 months. We'll do it all over again. Next week, I believe, is a problem because next week it's going to be on Monday for me is Christmas Day. And for you, for some other people, it's going to be a different day. But for me, it's Christmas Day. I'm not going to live stream on a Christmas Day. No. I'm working Christmas Day, but I ain't live streaming on a Christmas Day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Game Master preparation to a different day temporarily for this part of the year. Okay? And we'll create an adventure. We've done this before where we sit down together and we create an adventure in a short space of time, the basic nuts and bolts. But it won't be on the normal day that I do it. I'm going to put it somewhere else, primarily because I don't want to work on a Christmas Day on YouTube. It just isn't going to work for me. So that's the plan. So we're not finished for this year at all. All the best. I will be back tomorrow, and I'm talking about monsters. We're talking about the elemental geode. I believe Fred Huber has mentioned it before. It is from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and we'll be probably building some monster tools. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Anyway, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody in the live stream. I really do appreciate your time, patience, your energy, your ideas. It's really been great. I want to thank everybody who's been watching and listening. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll. Really interesting to see the result of that poll as it happens. I want to say thank you to the patrons who really have been with me for a good portion of time. Anybody who's new, who's jumped in, I hope that you find the resources on Patreon useful to you. I want to thank, in particular, those of you who have been here commenting in the chat. Hello, Shina81. Yes, sorry, Shina, I'll be back tomorrow. So I want to thank Shina81, Noroak, Pale Rider, Osiris, Calrel, Prepare, Cook, and Survive, Fred Huber, of course, and I'm probably going to miss somebody and going to feel terrible about it later on. Derp, of course, because Derp is a patron. And if I haven't called out that you were a patron, I am sorry. I wasn't. I'm losing my mind. It's so hot in my office. I'm cooking alive as I talk. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the evening, the afternoon, the wee morning, night, whatever. Please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. Do not shut yourself in a dark and hot room with lights shining on you, because it's not a good thing. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. I'm insane. Hello, Troy. How you doing? I forgot about Troy.